So UFC Mexico City just wrapped up, and it was thoroughly a good-ass card. The hometown fighters almost swept completely, and there was barely a dull moment. One of said hometown guys was Raul Rosas Jr., who got the unanimous decision win over the walking, talking, tough-out Vince Morales. That poor guy cannot catch a break. He did his thing, extended the streak, did the chee-wees, and the crowd ate it up. I was sat there with a big, stupid smile on my face like, hell yeah, boy wonder. Go kick some more ass and say some more chee-wees. Yeah, chee-wees, yeah. And then something strange happened. A certain red-headed individual started coming into focus. I didn't recognize him at first. Then, oh no, god damn it, not you! Yes, Bo Nickal came to mind immediately, because I thought to myself, why doesn't Bo Nickal get this kind of adoration? He started around the same time in the UFC as Rosas, and has had enough time in the spotlight for fans to latch onto him, and the top brass clearly wants that reaction from the audience, and he's an incredibly talented wrestler and has power in his hands. But why does the audience go ballistic for this kid every time he does anything as minute as going from full to half guard, but then every time Bo Nickal gets on the mic after a fight, everyone starts throwing eggs at him? UFC's given both of them a considerable push in the marketing and the matchmaking, but one is loved, and the other one may as well be a plague rat. It is worth taking into account that Rosas was fighting in front of the Mexican people on this one, but even when he isn't, he has people eating out of the palm of his hand. Listen to this Louisville, Kentucky crowd going apeshit last year.
And across the octagon, his opponent fighting in the red corner. Also a freestyle fighter. He too, 5 feet 9 inches tall. His weight, 136 pounds, with a professional record standing at 8 victories.
UFC's been criticized in recent years for not bothering to nurture future stars and kind of just relying on the fighters to make a name for themselves. It's like they're content with the size of the brand at this point, and they're not really as worried about finding the next cash cow like they would have a decade ago. But they do on occasion like to use that PR machine to back certain cats who have potential to move some needles. Got some needle moving capabilities. They see a goddamn 17-year-old enter Dana White's Contender Series off the back of a slew of first-round finishes, who then proceeds to put on a statement, and they start seeing dollar signs out the ass. Seriously though, this dude is only 20 years old. He got his golden ticket when he was 17. What the hell are they putting in the water these days? And what's more is he's getting better with each fight. He's very much green, but we're seeing him improve more and more, time and time again. Now, we've seen plenty of young fighters join the promotion and grow in their craft before our eyes. You'd think Max Holloway is about 78 years old at this point with how long he's been in the mix at the elite level taking scalps, but that's because he was 20 when he joined back in the day. He was the youngest on the roster back then. But Rosas blows that the fuck out the water. It's insane to imagine how good this kid's gonna be in 10 years. Anyways, point is, the UFC read the tea leaves and thought, okay, we need to be smart about this. We can't give this kid the Darren Till treatment and blow our load too early. We gotta take this real slow. So while he's getting the promotional push, they've been matching him up reasonably and pushing him inch by inch. He did hit a bit of a roadblock with Christian Rodriguez, but they scaled back again, took their time. Now we're on a 4-fight win streak. It's not to say they're feeding him bums or anything, as that implication takes away from Rosas' performances, but they're playing it smart, and people love the guy. Do you know what most 17-year-olds are like? They're like this.
By the way, for the record, you should probably knock or make yourself known next time you enter someone's place.
Dude, I don't even think you should be in here to begin with.
Yeah, not really your business though, is it?
When you're living in our office walls, yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not doing this right now. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
It's pure insanity seeing him be so young at accomplishing so much already.
But
I want you to imagine them sticking him on pay-per-view main cards every time he goes out there. From the moment he was signed until his most recent performance, imagine the UFC being so insistent that you pay attention to him that they not only stick him on main cards against fellow unranked opponents, but they give him the feature fight spot. They did do it the one time, to be clear, to be fair, but other than that, he's either been on Fight Night main cards or pay-per-view prelims. That's why he's managed to be on the public consciousness consistently, and he's gained momentum without it feeling like we're being force-fed. They don't just toss him in the apex, they put him in front of crowds and let him kind of ride the wave of whatever big card he's on. He's not the main course just yet. He ain't the turkey, but he's a kick-ass side dish like green bean casserole or like hush puppies or something. I don't know. Damn, I'm getting hungry. But again, I want you to imagine the UFC making you pay to watch him fight nobodies every time. That would be kind of annoying, right? Yes. And that's exactly why people hate Bo Nickal. I feel so bad for this dude. He seems like a really nice guy and he takes it in stride. He's a good sport, but the UFC is solely responsible for him getting pelted with booze every time he goes out there. Let's take a look at his first Octagon interview a couple years ago.
And still undefeated, Bo Nickal.
What's up, Bo Nickal? Welcome to the UFC.
Joe, baby.
Congratulations. That's how you make a debut.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's take a gander at his most recent one.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with the winner, Bo Nickal. Bo, this has been a quick rise through the rankings. Coming in here and fighting a guy like Paul Craig, who's finished Jamal Hill and Magomed Ankalaev with only 6 fights into your career.
Jesus Christ. You'd think he just dropped trap and took a diarrhea shit all over the octagon with this response. Now, in the first example, he was coming off a finish, and in the second, it was a pretty tepid decision win with some pretty green looking striking. But we've all seen plenty of those. Him striking with the guy who's known for snatching up triangles like it's a bodily function makes perfect sense. And him not being a Golden Gloves boxing phenom also makes sense. He's only been training MMA for a few years. Dana literally didn't want to sign him at first on his first Contender Series win because of his lack of experience, but eventually went back on that and brought him in. And similarly with Rosas, they've been very intelligent with the matchmaking as to not just throw him to the wolves. This trajectory from Pickett to Woodburn to Brundage to Craig is totally fine. Nothing wrong with that. The issue is the UFC wants us to pay $80 dollars to watch him figure out how to fight every time. These are not pay-per-view worthy. I guess they were just thinking based on his pre-UFC fights and the first couple that he had that he was probably just going to steamroll everyone on the lower levels, and then they could retroactively justify his spot at the top of these cards with, you know, finish of the nights every time. But his last couple have been less than exciting. Putting him against Cody Brundage on UFC 300 ahead of former champions forced back down the prelims is already going to rub people the wrong way. But then if he goes in there and does anything short of ripping the dude's head off, people are going to flip out, and flip out they did. And then he makes the intelligent decision to box with the submission demon who has no striking himself, but because he didn't smash his nose inwards, people start flinging dung like bonobos. Don't blame the guy, it's not his fault. He's doing everything he's supposed to. Blame the UFC brass for being dunderheads. They can't have their cake and eat it too. You can't slow roll this guy with unranked no names, but also expect people to shell out money for it. They're doing this guy so dirty. Let's course correct a bit. Get him on pay-per-view prelims or fight night main cards. Basically treat him exactly like Rosas Jr. He's a bit older, but he's still young. Keep him at the same pace, but stop shoving him in front of the audience like a parent forcing their child actor into the spotlight. For the love of God, we need justice for Bo Nickal, man. Shit ain't fair. He had a decent amount of hype and momentum coming in the first couple. I mean, I think people were pretty on board with him, but he's just not been able to keep that going. And Rosas Jr. isn't even that much more exciting than Bo Nickal. He's not always finishing people. It's a good few decisions. Like, their styles aren't all that similar, but excitement wise, they're about the same. It's just that one guy's being managed well, one guy isn't. They're basically doing Rosas Jr. a bit more like they did Sean O'Malley before he got to jump up, and they're treating Bo Nickal like he's there, but also he's not there at the same time. If you're putting him on pay-per-views, on main cards, if we're paying to watch him, he should be fighting ranked opposition. And if he's fighting outside the rankings, it should be something exciting. It's just cake and eat it too. It's having your cake and eat it too. It's too much at once. Doesn't make sense. Course correct, please.